Right, here we are, chapter 5, 12th of May, starting in Albania up through Montenegro, Bosnia and Herzegovina, all the way through to the top of Croatia. So first day was a long old 6-hour drive, 300k, no problems at the border getting across into Montenegro, and then a beautiful drive through wonderful mountain scenery until we eventually got to totally stunning Bay of Kota, which you can see here. It's absolutely enormous, beautiful old medieval town and a very deep water port, which means that you can get some very large passenger ferries in there.
Montenegro. Jubilee.
As you can see, it's a tough old trip, and we treated ourselves to an amazing seafood meal at Forza Terra. It's also a hotel, but it was founded on food and dessert. This was the biggest fish, about 2.5 kilos, and the best fish and the best dessert that we've ever had. And what a beautiful spot. Of course, we didn't stay in that hotel. We were in the cheap one around the corner, but we did spend a lot of time there. This is a breakfast scene that we had. We then headed into the old town of Kotor, which is very lovely, very medieval, and lots of cats. You can't go to Kotor without jumping on a boat. Not that one, it's horrible, but this little fast one. We took the 3-hour tour, having a look at these two islands, Lady of the Rock, which is rather gorgeous, before then moving on to submarine caves that we used in the 1970s. And then the stunning blue caves. So the next day we went to a Forza Mare, which was the sister hotel, for another breakfast, and then off to Bosnia. And again, no problem getting across the border into Bosnia and Herzegovina. And then we had a long old journey with lots of animals, about 200 kilometres, but it took us about 6 hours through some quite tough rain actually, and lots of zigzaggy mountains. So we finally got to Sarajevo at about 9 o'clock at night. Customer feedback on the trip?
Of course, loads of rains outside. We had a bit of rain inside too.
Excellent feedback and totally consistent with the Land Rover 97% waterproof guarantee. So the next day we took a 4-hour guided tour around Sarajevo, which was really interesting and really disturbing. In 1984, Sarajevo hosted the Winter Olympics, but just 7 years later, it was besieged by the Serb army. And one of the key assets that the Bosnian resistance built was the Tunnel of Hope, which connected under the runway through to outside the siege. One of the only ways to get supplies in and out of the city. Our guide Addis was just finishing school at 18 when he got dragged into this war and ended up joining the Bosnian resistance.
This road we passed. This is the sniper alley I told you. So this is the part of the city they only control, the actual part of the city, because they control this suburb, but this is not part of Sarajevo city. This is another city. It's called Ilija. It's close to Sarajevo, but this is not considered to be Sarajevo because the border line is here actually between this city and Sarajevo. So basically.
And these maps showed where the ice skating was in 1984 and where the Serbian army was in 1992 through to 96. And then we went up and saw where the bobsleigh was and where also the Serbian units had their positions. Really crazy stuff. Really shouldn't have happened. The Bosnian War finally ended in 96, 100,000 dead, and Adi, our guy, went on to clear mines around Sarajevo and then coincidentally went on to Sri Lanka to clear mines. When will we learn? After the excellent tour, we then drove back into the city ourselves, actually passing along some notable places. Driving along what was called Sniper Alley, as the Serbs were pretty much surrounding the city. In some of these high rises you can now see the snipers are based indiscriminately shoots people walking through here. Quick tour of the old town, which was very pretty. Had a nice cup of traditional Bosnian coffee as well, which was really nice. And then looked at some of the religious buildings before leaving for Mostar. Just before we left, of course, important to fill up the driver as well. And the driver can survive about 1,400 kilometres on 1.3 kilograms of sweets. 300k, 6 hours to Mostar. Not easy because we didn't have Google Maps, so Nero the navigator was using compass and paper. When we did get to Mostar, amazing hotel restaurant that we stayed in. One of the best welcomes we'd had, terrific views, really recommend it. Kriva Kuprica. So we had a wonderful Bosnian traditional meal at our hotel restaurant. Can't recommend this place enough. And then we were headed out of Mostar and to the Kravica waterfalls, which were quite amazing. Had a chance to get the drone going as well. And then we were on our way back to the EU and Croatia, about a 2-hour drive to Split, which was a very another very nice medieval town with some very nice buildings and some very nice shops. We only stayed in Split for one night before driving on to Zrče, about 2 hours further north, where we pretended we were 25 years old again for the weekend. Bit easier for one of us than the other, but boy did we have fun.
Welcome to spring break season in Croatia.
Phew. Luckily, Nero, as a qualified nurse, was able to confirm that we were still alive after that. So, on a ferry and up to a campsite for a few days of rest, relaxation and recovery. Next stop, Venice on the 25th of May.